International citation. I'm going to give you some tips about treaty citation. Treaty citation is difficult because the Blue Book has hierarchies of sources for treaty citation, and you may not have found your treaty in one of the more official sources. That means you may need a parallel citation for a treaty in order to cite it to a source that the Blue Book wants, regardless of where you originally found it. If you need a Blue Book to get the list of preferred sources, you can check one out of the library. Let's use this treaty as an example. This is a convention between the U.S. and Japan, signed in Washington, May 31, 1928, on the subject of alcoholic beverages. Here we see a citation to treaty series, it's number 807. But treaty series, TS, is only Blue Book's second tier of preference in Blue Book Rule 21.4.5. The first tier preferred source is UST, or STAT, which is statutes at large. So we need the parallel citation to either UST or statutes at large. How do we find a parallel citation? First, we have to remember, is the US a party to this treaty? Yes, it's a treaty between the US and Japan. If the US is a party, it's easier because we just need to look in Treaties in Force, a publication of the US State Department. So it's very easy to find just by plain old Googling. Treaties in Force is a list of the treaties which are in force in the US. So it must be a big pain to update because the State Department simply adds these supplements rather than integrating new changes into the main document. But for our purposes, we want a parallel citation to a treaty that's more than 3 years old, 1928. So we can look at this main treaties in force. We don't need the supplement. So let's say I downloaded this, but for the sake of time, I already have this open in the next tab. I clicked on this. So what we have here is a beautiful 570-page document, and if we look at the table of contents, what we see is that it begins with bilateral treaties country by country. So if we wanted to browse, we could just go ahead and find Japan and see that the treaties between Japan and the US start on page 233. But there's a faster way. We already know that this is treaty number 807 in the treaty series, so why not try looking for that? We can run a quick search for TS 807 and see if we can just find this using the citation. And there you have it. We found our treaty. So browsing is fine too, but sometimes this can be a little faster if you're in a big hurry. And what we find here is we've got these parallel citations and we've got the statutes at large citation listed right here. In order to turn the treaty you found into a citation, you need the name of the agreement, abbreviated names of the parties, date of signing, a U.S. treaty source according to the Blue Book's order of preference. So you put all of that together and you get Convention for Prevention of Smuggling of Intoxicating Liquors, Japan, and the U.S. abbreviated according to Blue Book Table T10. You can't abbreviate willy-nilly, you have to follow the Blue Book's rules. Again, if you need a Blue Book, we have Blue Books at the library. Also of note, Japan and US are in alphabetical order because the parties' names need to appear in alphabetical order. You use the date. I didn't have to abbreviate May here because the Blue Book doesn't abbreviate May, but you would abbreviate other months. May 31st, 1928, and then that statutes at large citation that we found in Treaties in Force. So if you have a treaty where the U.S. is not a party, you cite a source published by an international organization, or if no such source exists, cite the official source of one signatory. And if you're still having issues, consult one of the librarians and we'll see if we can work some magic and find a source for you.